Well, hello, hello. This is new. Hello, everybody, and welcome to BL Stories. My name is Blue Lightning. I'm a self-taught music producer here on YouTube, and here we'll be talking about personal stories and experiences of mine for your entertainment. That is literally the only scripted part in this. Yeah, so when thinking about doing a podcast, I didn't want to do anything scripted because, to me, it kind of feels a little fake if you're scripting something, unless it's a Q&A, because Q&As do questions and stuff, so yeah. And plus, this series is about like real life stories about me, and writing it out from like a script may seem fake, so yeah. But the downside to this is that you'll hear a lot of stuttering from me, so get used to that. So for today, I want to talk about my more recent albums that I dropped. That album being Beginnings Remastered. So for newer viewers of the channel, or simply those who have forgotten, when I first started this channel, I released a small album called Beginnings, because it was literally my YouTube beginnings. So what I did for that, it wasn't really more of an album, it was more of like an experiment for me to experiment with Ableton Live. And if you go back to listen to all those songs, you'll hear that all of them were terrible. So basically, the first song I made, Neon Sky, that was more of me practicing what the heck Ableton had to do. And that song was so bad, like, I couldn't even go back to listen to it because it was just a warble of a mess. There were some pretty good tracks from that album as well, specifically Deadly Machine. I really loved that, and I also liked Cold Waters. A little fun fact about those is that Cold Waters was a very Alan Walker inspired track, even though I had no idea what instruments he used. I now know it's Nexus, which is something I cannot afford. So over time, I decided to do other albums, experiment more with my channel. For say, the newer albums, as well as making the short-lived video content like the Transformers videos and the Jurassic World videos, including my infamous best versus worst Jurassic YouTubers. I still cringe at that video sometimes, but yeah. But either way, time passed by, and I started to remaster some of my tracks. The first one I did was Neon Sky Remastered, which I'm still proud of to this day, which is where I took basically the concept of it being an experiment of what I can do, and took what I learned a year into self-production and putting it into a track. And it came out pretty good. It was a mix of old classic M64, if that makes sense, and a trap beat, and yeah, it was mostly just trap inspired, I would say. And that was the only remastered track for a while up until recently, about a few weeks ago, when I decided I was going to remaster the entire album for its 3-year anniversary. And plus, it was supposed to show how far I was going into self-taught music production. So I already had an idea for what I wanted to do with some of the tracks. I knew I wanted Deadly Machine to be piano house. I already knew that I wanted Cold Waters to be progressive house, as well as Sky of Balloons. You might be wondering why the heck I included Sky of Balloons even though it wasn't featured in the original album. That's because I just wanted to include some more space for the song to make it fuller, like an actual album, because the original track wasn't even long enough to be considered an album, so I wanted to put in Neon Sky to fill in that. And plus, Neon Sky was based on an old short I made a while ago, like when I first started. It was a series I had in mind called Mini Melodies, which was very short-lived, because yeah, that it was pretty stupid and kind of yeah, it was don't make melody shorts, because they'll kind of drain your creative ability, if that makes sense. So yeah, I took a while to remaster the tracks to be kind of what I wanted for the newer generation. So yeah, I also tweaked a little bit of Neon Sky to make it different from the original version remastered, because I didn't want to just re-release the same song again, because that would just been kind of stupid. So, and plus it was very that's kind of one of my pet peeves, is that I don't really like when artists re-release the same album, like not the same album, the same song in another album, because it kind of reselling it, and I'm like, well, okay, why the frick are you reselling me an album that I already bought in another? Now, why are you reselling me a song that I already bought in another album? Because that just doesn't make sense. So I wanted to go ahead and tweak Neon Sky for a 2025 edit to make it sound much more different. Instead of being trap inspired, I wanted it to be more marshmallowy, future bass inspired, and that ended up with a Neon Sky 2025 edit. Now for the second song, which is Roars of Thunder. Roars of Thunder originally was me figuring out all the pitches and melodies, and it was very repetitive. In fact, the whole song was just kind of an entire loop, the original version. So when it came time for me to make the remastered version, I figured, hey, since this beat is repetitive, what can I do to it to make it, different and less repetitive while still keeping its repetitiveness? Does that make sense? Make it repetitive, but not too repetitive. So I looked at techno, because techno is a very repetitive genre that uses the same bass that's playing most of the time. So I took a lot of inspiration from the bass techno inspired tracks that I heard. Like there was this one song I was listening to while surfing the web. I think it was a remix of Maroon 5's Moves Like Jagger, which is a very meme-ish song. So I listened to that remix and I'm like, yep, this is what I want for the Roars of Thunder remaster. So I took inspiration from it. I used beats, and I took a sample from a free library of rain, mainly because it wasn't raining in my area and I really wanted to get rain sound effects since it is Roars of Thunder. I couldn't get any thunder sound effects, so all I had to deal with was rain, but I think it worked out in the long run. So now for Catharsis. When I originally wrote Catharsis, this is when I actually had a good idea of how to structure a song. And if you go back to listen to a Catharsis, it had some structure, but it was like the bare minimum. So that's kind of what made it, it was a stepping stone of me figuring out how to actually structure a song. When it came time for the remaster, I had to figure out what can I do to this to make it sound, more modern, more professional. And I looked towards Deep House for that, because Deep House is very dark, and it's very dark and melancholic, if that makes sense. And the original beat was a mix of a piano and a synthesizer, a very crappy synthesizer, but it was okay. So I took inspiration from Deep House since it used a piano, and plus I didn't want to make another piano house after Deadly Machines. I wanted to be a little bit different and kind of variety it up a little bit, so I made it a Deep House track, which I think it ended up turning out well until I had to record myself. I don't really sing that much in my songs because I'm just kind of insecure about me singing, and there's kind of a track record for me that kind of fuels it to an unhealthy amount, like singing the songs I sang in, which is Gold Rush and Cold Waters Remaster, which came out. The dislikes are very high. Not very high, it's only like 1 or 2, but they have really low views, and that kind of makes me more insecure about me singing in future tracks, because before then, now I'm taking a treble bass choir class at my schools, but originally I wasn't taking any vocal training classes, so yeah, that was kind of a problem for me, because I was nervous that the singing wouldn't come out well. So I tried my best and tweaked it a little bit. I would say it was fairly okay, but it could have been better, especially now since I'm trying a treble bass choir class. So yeah, and after arranging the track into the Deep House track it is now, I'd say it's okay, but it's kind of generic to the other Deep House tracks you might find on the web or Spotify, but at least it sounds good at least. Now time for the Deadly Machine remaster. This one I already had a plan for, is simply just to give the original melody chords, because the original one only had one note, which I think was a it went do 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 do, and it went like that, and it had no other chords. So I had a pre-idea even before I had the idea to remaster the whole album. I basically wanted to add some more chords to make it sound more sad and dark, because the original premise of the original song was of a robot invasion taking over, and I feel like I did a better job with the art in the newer, the remastered version than the original, because my art skills have increased better than they have originally, and I think I arranged the song pretty okay, especially trying to implement old MIDI that I wrote for the song. Because fun fact for this entire album, I literally had to go back into my old tracks, which I couldn't edit anymore. I mean, I could, but I couldn't save it because back then I wasn't using Ableton Live Intro. I was using the free trial version, which only lasted for like 90 days. So yeah, it had instruments that I couldn't use, so I couldn't do any edits. But I was able to take pictures of the old melodies and retune them, because a lot of them were out of tune, and lengthen them to the beat that I needed them to. So that's it kind of for Deadly Machine Remastered, although one nitpick I do have is I think I made the toms a little too loud for the non-drum beats. Well, they are drum beats, but for the kick beat for it. So yeah. Next, I want to talk about one of my personal favorites, Cold Waters Remastered. This track originally was again an Alan Walker inspired track that was very melancholic and sad. I don't think Alan Walker's tracks are melancholic at all, but kind of feels like it. So basically for the remastered, I wanted to take the original melodies I had, retune them, and then restructure them. That's my idea. That was my idea originally for it. And then I wanted to add some vocals because I wanted to try to sing again to do better since Gold Rush. And I did okay, but my pitch on it wasn't really that good because again, I wasn't taking a treble bass choir class before, and it ended up sounding not good. And that kind of made me hate the song a little afterwards because it didn't really get that many views, because I know a lot of people will kind of say that it's kind of bad that you want views for your stuff, but for me, I just want my stuff to be seen because I don't want to. I know a lot of people say that they don't care how many views they're getting just because a lot of what they make is making them happy, but I want my art to be seen, if that makes sense, because you know, what good is art if no one is there to enjoy it with you? Like, that's why I prefer to have an audience, because I just like seeing people appreciate my art, and that's why I like reading comments so much, because I like to see people's reactions to my pieces of art. Like, I always see comments saying that this is very NCS inspired, or ooh, I like the inspiration from this artist. So yeah, I'm thinking about for the Cold Waters Remastered is that I was thinking later on in the future I might do a single version for that, or like a remix EP for it. Even basically just try to retweak the lyrics a little bit to make it sound better now that I'm in a treble bass choir class, and do some remixes of it, because I wanted to make a acoustic version that doesn't use any EDM elements, but you know, guitar elements, piano elements, and a classical bass type element to make it, you know, sound more classical, if that makes sense, or folk. I'm not sure. And I also wanted to make a lyricless version, and probably, I don't know. But yeah, that was it for Cold Waters Remastered. So time for the second to last one, that is Dragon Teeth. Dragon Teeth was another one of my favorites from the original tracks, because that was more of a rock-based melody. And originally for the original version of Dragon Teeth that I released when I first started, I wanted it to be a rap track, but I couldn't rap, and I didn't know any rappers in real life, and I didn't have any money to pay anybody, so I simply just left it an instrumental piece. And I left it the same for the remaster, because the remaster, I figured, why not do a rap beat instead, a drum and bass, because I listened to a few drum and bass tracks that I found online, and I thought the sound was pretty good, and I figured, what if I mix drum and bass with indie rock or alternative rock elements, like mix both those elements together into one track. And that's what I wanted to do for Dragon Teeth Remastered, because the original track did have some rock-based elements to it. So that's what led to Dragon Teeth Remastered. And I thought the song was pretty good. I originally wanted to do a mashup with another small artist song that I found. I think it was Humble Bitched by some artist that I follow called The Wordsmith, who's a small rapper. He's pretty good, but I would say some of his opinions on certain songs and stuff I don't fully agree with, but it's whatever. Now time for the last album, and that is Sky of Balloons. For Sky of Balloons, I wanted to expand the melody and not take the melody. I wanted to take the melody, shorten it, and turn it into an arpeggio. And I retuned it basically to fit the more happier progressive house that I wanted to make it feel like. For this track, I wanted to take inspiration from a remix of Daft Punk's Derezed. It was this fun fact. This remix was remixed by Avicii, out of all people. Rest in peace, because he was one of the greatest EDM producers of all time. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to do is make the chord progression not melody-like. I wanted to not keep him chopped. I wanted to keep him simple, and I wanted to experiment with melody changes and EQing on this one to make it sound like the Derezed Avicii remix. It's not the same, of course, because you can't really do that because of copyright reasons. But yeah, I think I did pretty good when it came to the remaster of Sky Balloons. Definitely did good when I expanded from the original idea. So yeah. And those are all the things I planned for Beginnings Remastered, which I feel I did a pretty good job on the entire album, especially, you know, with some of the songs I really enjoyed. But yeah, and I was trying to put in my new branding that I was putting in, because recently I changed my branding to look more themed, similar to NCS or Trap Nation. And so far I think I did pretty good, but the views are still pretty low on my songs, so yeah. I'm also trying out some shorts to, you know, gain a better following, because, again, YouTube's for some reason trying to push shorts, which bugs me to frick off. But, yeah. And that was the first episode of BL Stories. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode. And let me know if you want to see more of this stuff, because I am open to do more of this podcast. And as this podcast is kind of more of an experiment as well. So if you like this, you can leave a like and comment, and comment for the algorithm, yeah, because yeah, it will let me know how much you love this, and if you want to see this become a series. So yeah, I'm open to this becoming a series, and I think that's all I have it for now. Thank you all guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next song or the next episode if this becomes a series. So peace, everybody. Oh, and have a great day.